Going on, everybody? My name is Mike Kufel. I'm in Tennessee. I'm also in the league, drive the number nine. Happy to be here. Been iRacing now for about 5 months or so, so I'm eager to see where this goes and see what I can learn from this experience. Going on, everybody? My name is Mike Kufel.
Uh, hey, I'm Sean Happick, down here in Texas. I've been iRacing for about a year now, so I'm excited to get this going as well.
Yeah, I'm William Kern. I've been on iRacing, I think, for like 2.5, 3 years. I enjoy it. Drive the 31 tap tag truck. Um, I mean, I drive next gen. I drive Xfinities. If it's got to do with NASCAR, I'm driving it. So look forward to a good season this year in the truck series with you guys, the CTS trucks. We'll see if we can get some things done this year.
Oh yeah, yeah. I just wanted something beginner friendly. When I was able to get into iRacing, um, and I've been in it a year. You've been in it. How long did you say? About 4 months, Bryce? Yeah. So, and I feel like we're on about the same skill level. And then you said you got in the league, and William kind of helped you out quite a bit. So when I got in the league, I wasn't really able to get any. I didn't have any friends that got on it with me until Thomas finally joined months later. But man, I was scared to death to turn laps on some of these leagues because I was just worried take people out, ruin their races, and things like that. And I just wanted to make something that's a little bit more friendly for the beginner guys that they don't have to be worried about, and they can actually try to post some fast laps, not being worried about taking out leaders and them yelling at you or whatever. So that was kind of everything behind this league. Just something really beginner friendly, and hopefully we can grow into something better.
Absolutely, man. I'm super excited to be in this league, and learning is first and foremost the most crucial thing I've come to learn when it comes to iRacing. It's actually hard for me to sit down right now because of our other league. Turn over here has been kicking my ass for so long. I'm a little sore, so I'm excited to learn from this guy. I'm a little jealous. He's bestowed some mentorship upon yourself, but well, I'm gonna get there. But I'm excited, and this league I think's got a lot of promise, and as long as we all can work together, it's not necessarily just about teaching everybody. It's about just good quality racing, and I think that's what we're all in this for. We all enjoy NASCAR in general and want to make the best of it. I'm sure we all still have that deep desire that we're the next William Byrons. But that's part of the mystery of this and what makes it fun and draws other people in, I believe. But I'm excited for it.
Yeah, we've only really had the duel. It's kind of hard to tell. It's still early, but there's racing around everybody at Daytona. I've seen quite a few of them that's got a lot of promise. A bunch of them I don't mind racing around. I mean, there's some guys out there that are willing to learn. That's the most important part, really. Uh, I'll just, like I said, look for a good season. It's trucks, it's beginners. Personally, I don't like trucks, but if it's NASCAR, I'll race it. But if we can get some trucks going here and get everybody accustomed to each other, racing around each other, learning from each other, picking up new things, working with each other, it can grow into something a lot bigger. Which obviously we've been talking about plans for that for the future, and I'd like to be in one single league that runs across multiple. I don't want to bring any spoilers, but possibly multiple outlets as far as other cars, other trucks, or whatever that we race. So.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you guys felt about it. Honestly, I thought it started off way cleaner than I ever expected it to. I typically, the duels are the first race of any league that I've ever seen or participated in. That first that first lap at Daytona is special. That's probably the best way I can put it. But I mean, we made it a good little while. Man, I was pretty impressed with that. I'm curious what you guys saw from your perspectives of where you guys started off and how the guys were around y'all.
No, I was I was ready to go single wide restart if we were going to have problems. I thought we might have a little bit, but no, I think we were in 7 or 8 laps before we got our first caution. Now there later half of the race it got a little bit worse, but no, I was pleasantly surprised with how we started out anyway.
It's the duels also. I mean, it's the first time we've ever raced there. Well, some of us have ever raced around each other too. So
Exactly.
first few races are always going to be the roughest, especially starting out with a super speedway. So I think once we get through Daytona, things will start to cool down. Happens every time especially with the new leagues. Um, I mean, like I said, once we get through Daytona, I'm looking at the schedule right now, and I gotta tell you, a lot of these tracks, I'm looking forward to them. You got Kansas, Dover, Richmond. You got Old Atlanta on here, which I don't know about you guys. I do not like the new Atlanta. Old Atlanta was always my favorite. So I'm glad to see that. I mean, just the amount of differences we have in the tracks are going to be really fun to see. We got short tracks, super speedways, road courses. It's going to be fun. Hey Bryce, you're if they say you're muted, nobody can hear you.
Yeah, like I said, those first few laps went pretty good. I was pretty happy with it, and once that first caution came out, said it got a little came a little.
I believe I've got this. Believe I've got this ironed out now, so I think you guys should be able to hear. I appreciate that, and I do apologize for that. But yeah, I mean, speaking on it, I mean, let's just go ahead and show the beautiful scenery here. We got Mike looking straight down at the track here. He took flight, to say the least. I think this was the first real big one that we had, for sure, and first of many. But there definitely was some carnage. I think I got a little airborne as well. So, me and Mike are doing a little bit of a tandem breakdancing here. But all in all, I mean, yeah, I think the first half of this race showed a lot of promise. There's the guys that have speed were definitely able to make their way to the front relatively quick. And, we had good, clean racing. I mean, we were pushing, we were side drafting. I mean, it was really clean. So I'm looking forward, to next week and seeing, we all kind of made our way towards the front early on off that pitch strategy. And, we were able to race around each other, which of course we've done. So we're all kind of familiar with each other's limits and stuff. But, as stressful as it is, I will say it is kind of fun, racing around these new drivers and seeing, who can take a hit down the back stretch or who can hold the clean line, down at the bottom. And I think it's really fun to see. And it does add a layer of drama. Of course, you don't want to be on the wrong side of an incident, but it definitely does add that extra layer of excitement and adrenaline. So I'm excited for it. It's definitely some promise. And like Will said, once these, super speedways, once these are kind of gone and out of the way, we'll kind of really see, who has what for speed. I think the fields will get a little bit more spread out, and I think we'll really be able to see, over the course of the long term, who can, manage the runs. And talking about last week, got to point this out right here. Heck of a finish for our first season. I think we figured out it was it 2,000ths or was it 10,000ths or what? I can't remember the exact number. I know it was, 0.002. So a hell of a finish out of these guys. I know me personally, I think I had like 3 wheels when I crossed the finish line. I know there was a lot of carnage. Will was driving like a bat out of hell. That was fun to watch. We had got shuffled towards the back, and you want to talk about a man that said no lift. Let me tell you, this guy right here, he's got some cojones on him, man. He made a run like I've never seen before in my life. Unfortunately, it was not long lasted, as he got caught up in the inevitable. I don't know if this is the exact one here, but here he is hitting the wall head on. So we were all kind of involved in the carnage. Oh yeah, which is always fun to see. I think it makes it entertaining, and that's super speedway racing for you, for sure. But I mean, how do you guys kind of feel about, again, take this kind of with a grain of salt being a super speedway, but I mean, how are you guys kind of feeling about, where you guys finished and kind of where, that'll put you starting, for Sunday's race? Yeah, so here I got it pulled up. So it looks like as far as the top 5, you got Sean and Jason there. Again, those are obviously the 2 that had that really close finish. You got Justin Nava here in 3rd, Corey DeLapp in 4th, and then Mr. Happy making a top 5 start here at the inaugural race at Daytona. So excited to see that. We got Andre here in 6th. I think I ended up in 7th. We got Anthony Hall in 8th, Chad Smith in 9th, and Michael Cole rounding out the top 10. Kern, it looks like you managed to get 13th after all the carnage. And Mike, you are down there in the Hornet's Nest, buddy, 25th. So there's definitely... No, for sure. I think, big part of it is survival. Kind of real quick, we do... Being a beginner league, we are running 2 fast repairs at the super speedways. We've only got this next Daytona race in Talladega on the schedule, so we won't be running those too often. But I definitely think those will play a factor. The race that we did for the duel was 30 laps, and is it 70, Sean, or 75? I can't remember off the top of my head. Yeah, so 75, at Daytona. So I mean, more than double the length of the race. So I think that'll definitely weed out some of those fast repairs early. I mean, I think there's definitely, one thing that is cool about, this league is we are still implementing stage racing. So, that adds another layer to these super speedways is, do you hang back and try to be there at the end, or do you try to go for these stage points? It's especially at these super speedways, a high risk, high reward for sure. So you just might, if you drove like you did at the last lap, you will be there for sure. Yeah, and those will definitely pay dividends. And we're currently in the process right now of deciding kind of what we're going to do. We don't at this exact moment have winning you're in, but I think based on the poll that we posted up, I think a lot of people are on board for that. I know personally I'm a fan of it. I'm sure will probably win everything anyways, so it won't matter too much. But no, in all seriousness, again, I think it adds another layer of, just of racing. It's just like in real life, you have a guy that comes in here that's in the right place at the right time, or makes the right strategy call or makes the wrong strategy call. I think that definitely adds to it. So yeah, stage points. I mean, all bonus points are going to be important for us here. Going forward throughout the season. Yeah. Yeah, and then I mean, to piggyback off that, I mean, Happy, kind of, you being the second longest racer here. I mean, what are some things that you can remember focusing on? When you first got into iRacing, was there a few things that you tried to focus on? Just trying to finish the race or being clean, or I mean, kind of talk us through kind of how your process went on that, as far as just kind of, I mean, learning not to be a nuisance on track, really. Oh man, I'm just out here, Oh, for sure. Yeah, so that if you guys want to talk, I think that should be Okay, I think we're good. Let me double check.
When they get that fixed, William, you should go ahead and reiterate what you were talking about. That was good advice that they probably all missed.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah,
So I think looking at my levels here on OBS, I think we're good. So yeah, if you want to just and Mike too, I guess if you want to ask ask the question again to give them some reference as to what we're even talking to, that'd be a great idea.
So what I was just trying to find out is from both of Happy and Kern is what do you guys see new drivers? What mistakes are they making the most of? I feel personally as a new driver, my biggest thing that I noticed that I am doing incorrectly is a hesitation of lane change. I will raise my hand, absolutely guilty about it. I'm trying to be more confident in it. So I was just trying to find out what other things that you guys have seen in the time that you've spent in iRacing. What is you guys doing wrong?
So honestly, one of the biggest things I see is that people just overdrive the car. They're trying to make all these passes on the first or second lap. Realistically, just let the race come to you. Don't overdrive the car. Let everybody get out in front and wear their tires down. They'll come back to you. Everybody's out there to win. That's why we're on track. We're out there to win. We're out there to have fun, get good finishes. But you're not going to get them good finishes if you're overdriving your car and just wrecking into people, wrecking into your wall, going down to the inside, infield. Just take your time. You're not going to be winning races out there if you're overdriving and wrecking everybody. There's going to be wrecks. Even the professionals out in actual NASCAR in real life, they have wrecks all the time. So nobody's perfect, but the big thing is we want to limit the amount that we have every week.
Yeah, for sure. And I know you guys heard me, but I'll ask Happy again, kind of some of the things that he focused on. Again, you're the second longest tenured driver here. What are some things that, if you can remember that you kind of focused on, were you just trying to finish the race, or, was there anything that you kind of noticed yourself working on, throughout the time of just learning and improving?
When I first started, I guess I was opposite of those drivers that Kern said. I was overly cautious and therefore probably overly slow because I was not wanting to wreck anybody like that. But I know after a few weeks went by, I really noticed that once the good guys started laughing at me, you can really kind of follow their line and push a little bit and try to stay with them. And that really actually helped a lot on the tracks. Was just I'm getting lapped, but but there's a lot you can still learn from it,
Yeah.
It definitely took me a while when I first started racing. I didn't have any mentors. I didn't have anybody teaching me. I was exactly like you. I was taking it easy. I didn't want to be the reason that there was cautions brought out. Exactly like you said, everybody out there was better than me. Like everybody was. I was dead flat rookie. I started following their lines. I started talking to people. The guys that were running races all the time, I would get with them on Discord or whatever and ask them, what are you doing? What can I do different? You watching how I race, let me know what I'm doing wrong. And I would pick that up, and I'm always learning. I get into one league, I can be winning some races. I get into another league and I'm fighting for them wins. I'm hopeful to finish 10th. Me and Bryce here are part of another league, and it's exactly that. Those guys they're tough.
Yeah.
But I like racing them type of people because it helps me become a better driver.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been an avid, watcher of YouTube and Twitch and all that stuff. So, I've been racing or watching iRacing content, over the course of years. I don't know if some of you guys that are in here remember Empty Box. He used to stream iRacing videos 10 years ago, when iRacing first came to the scene. But, one thing that I tried to do when I first got into this a few months ago is kind of, to both of your point, is go to the fastest guy's lap time in the practice session and watch it. Sure, you don't get the exact throttle and brake input, but you kind of still can hear the engine and hear the brakes and hear the tires and see where are they pushing, where are they backing up. Even when I was running the quarter midgets in rookie league, still the top guys were, 2-3 seconds a lap faster. And, if anybody's in here that isn't too familiar with oval, I'm sure we all are, but, tenths of seconds matter a lap, let alone full on seconds. And, watching those guys, back then when I just started, I was scared, man. Like, these guys were in a whole nother league. I'm thinking, God, there's no way that I'm going to be there. But just watching and learning, and I think being open is the biggest thing. As with anything in life, of course, we're always learning and improving. And I think, a lot of people's mindset towards that is kind of what helps determine their success to an extent as well. I think, there obviously are people that have raw and natural talent and can probably hop on here and turn laps even faster than all of us. But, is that something that you can do consistently? Can you, there's so many layers to oval racing that a lot of people don't understand. It's, as much as we all joke and laugh, it's not just turn left and go fast. There's managing runs, there's managing tires, with stage points and stuff like that. There's all these different strategies. There's clean air, there's dirty air. Some of these higher up leagues, you've got differences in setups. I mean, there's so many things that go into these cars and these trucks that I think a lot of people just kind of turn a blind eye to. They just want to get out there and race, which I know sometimes I'm guilty of. I'm not too at times worried about other things. Everybody wants to win. I mean, that's the point of a race. But I think, kind of putting yourself in that mindset to, be there at the end, but still be competitive. I think that's the kind of the fine line you get to, when you join these leagues and you join these races. It's how can I make sure that I'm there at the end, but how can I make sure I'm there at the end and still be fast? There's definitely that line of, rather it be a tire save or rather it be a fuel strategy or, whatever it may be. I think there's just, again, so many different layers to this. And I think that's kind of why we all love it. We don't want to be on the bad side. We don't want to make the wrong call or that we don't want to be that guy, but that's part of it. And that's why I know for me, I keep coming back, like Will mentioned that league that we run, on Tuesday nights. There's guys in there with, I think, like 4,500 I rating, and that's a guy like me coming in here and being, fresh, a fresh noob, if you will. It's like, man, do I even want to be in here? But, again, it's racing around those guys. And sure, I may not be up front every race like I would want to be, but there's still so much that can be learned from finishing, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th every week, or later than that. I think that's something that's really special about this that, again, that we all just love and enjoy. I'm addicted to this, man. I love racing. I've been around it, my whole life, rather it just be games. Or I remember, my dad, when Gran Turismo 2 came out, man, I remember holding that controller and thinking it was plugged in and thinking I was turning laps, and I wasn't, of course, but it's just that itch that you get, man. I love it to death. And, it's an amazing thing, man, especially with a good group of guys, that's doing anything with your buddies makes anything better. So I definitely, of course, appreciate all y'all for that. And Sean getting this thing hosted up, man, and giving us all this opportunity to be a part of it, I think is really great, man. And I'm definitely, excited for what we've got to come. I think a lot of good things are going to come out of this for sure. So.
Oh, I couldn't have done any of this without a group of good guys here. This is, I started it with being just Tommy, man, and realized real quick I was going to need a lot of help because there's a lot to it.
No, for sure. Definitely.
So I definitely appreciate all of y'all.
Yeah, well, I think with that, as far as next week, we'll kind of circle back to that. I'm excited to see again the race being twice the length. I think twice the strategy, twice the carnage. Hopefully not, of course. But if there is, hopefully, fingers crossed, we're all on the good side of that. We don't get caught up in any mess. But, I'm excited, man. One thing, too, that we haven't really mentioned too much is we do kind of have a team point dynamic in this league as well that I think is really cool. I think it adds a layer, again, just more drama to the races. I think it's fun to see. You can definitely, even in the few laps that we did, I know Sean, you can attest for it because you saw us three get up top, lined up. Me, Mike, and Will were up top, and you got Sean down here playing blocker. So it's just really cool. Again, it just adds that other layer of racing. So I'm excited to see some of these. A lot of these guys are on these teams. Again, we're all, of course, some people know each other from rather it be another league or whatever. But once these guys really start racing around each other and doing these practice sessions and really learning each other, I'm really excited to see what that's going to do. Not even just at the super speedways, just at all the tracks, if they've got a good fuel strategy or, just to see, I think it's really it's really cool to see. And, especially at a super speedway, where drafting is the whole race, and we got people, blocking and all that stuff. I think it's going to be great. I know, Mike, we've done a lot of super speedway racing together. Will, we've done quite a bit, and happy, we had that one that we had. But again, is there anything that you guys are looking forward to? Is there anything that, you guys can think of that, like I'm just so ready to go, man. I'm ready to race. What gives you guys that feeling? And, again, is there anything as far as, this race coming up that you guys are just super excited for?
I want to mention on that team aspect. This is definitely why we like league suggestions, because the team racing wasn't even on my radar. And forgive me, somebody suggested it. I can't remember who. So, that was just something we added just by league suggestion. So y'all keep it up. If y'all have any ideas, man, to make it better, just let us know. Yeah, for sure. Mike, what do you think about all the team stuff? I know obviously it can be a huge beneficiary, again, if you're on the right side of strategy or on the right side. We've seen what happens in real life. We saw what happened, a couple months back with the Toyotas at Talladega. We saw, those guys, of course, that's obviously a little bit of a different dynamic, but, we saw what happened when those guys got together and ultimately, took Eric Jones out of the race and out of a couple races. So, again, how do you feel about having that extra layer, that extra level of drama to these races and what it does for the league and for stuff like that?
I think it's huge, honestly, because it gets another layer of competition. So it's not only that you're out there for yourself, because you can make dumb moves if it's just you.
Right.
If you feel you have that pressure of the teammates of wanting to do good for others, I think it makes you drive a little bit smarter and be a little more conscious of the moves that you're making, who you're making them around. Just in the duels alone, I was following Kern. I was following you when we got, call in a line taken off before that caution came out. That would have been great.
Yeah.
I think you ended up getting tagged, not that caution, but the caution afterwards. And then after that, I was behind Kern. This was our first time being teammates, and when he switched lanes, he got on the radio. He was like, "Oh, my bad. I didn't even know you were behind me."
Yeah.
It's all good. It was a beautiful cut and dive from the bottom to the top, and I wish I had the confidence to do stuff like that, but that's part of that learning aspect.
Yeah.
But I want to make sure I'm holding the straight line to push my teammates along and do good. Plus, if you get cycled towards the back, it's always nice to have somebody that can help you get back towards your front.
Yeah, for sure.
Plus, most importantly, don't forget about bragging rights.
That's right.
Of course, I'm trying to be humble over here. If I had the W's that you guys got, I'd be out here talking a whole lot more trash.
Hey, it'll definitely come. Yeah, I think I'm excited, man. I know, Will, we've been, talking too off and on, just turning more laps. Again, no pun intended, but it's fun to be in these leagues. It's fun to do stuff. And I know we've, again, racing Monday, Tuesday, and now Sunday nights as well. I know we've raced a lot, around each other. And I know, I'm pretty stoked about this. I know you are too. I know we seem to have a little bit higher expectations for you than you may think you have, but no, it's definitely cool, getting guys like you in here, though, of course, too. You're not just here, beating down on these guys, so per se. It's cool that these guys kind of can see what clean racing looks like. And I think that kind of gives, hope, if that's even the right word, for some of these guys, and gives them, promise that, hey, once we've got a good group of core guys in here that can really, do this thing, like how much fun it can be. Of course, everybody wants to be up front. So kind of talk us through a little bit of that too, and kind of what your mindset is kind of going towards Sunday night, and kind of how that, has all that has played out, and kind of where we're at now.
Yeah, you guys definitely have higher expectations than I do. If it was the old truck, I tell you, I don't like it. My car is the Xfinity car. I'm decent at next gen trucks. I've never really liked. They've been it's too level, too much pack racing. You can go full throttle around almost every track. The fact that they have now changed the truck to be more of what I would say the Xfinity car in a truck form, I would have to agree. It's gonna make a lot better racing for everybody. Everybody's coming into this kind of fresh, even me. I've never even been on iRacing with this new truck yet, so we got to get on there as a team, get some practice going,
Yeah.
find out what this truck can do, find out what it does in a group. Nobody knows except for the ones that's been on in the last few days since this update. I'm looking forward to it. We got like 2 days. Today's Friday, yeah.
Yeah.
So we got like 2 days to the race. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm like you, man. I love racing.
Yeah.
I've same thing. I've always, I haven't had a simulator like this all the time, or anything, or a wheel all the time. I was always, controller as well. NASCAR 09 was always my favorite.
Yeah.
That was my go-to,
06, man. Come on. 06 was amazing. Total team control. That's where
that was cool too. I remember that, man. Even being, as young as I am, I remember. I mean, NASCAR 15 is the most recent game for me. I'm not too fond of the heat games personally, but yeah, I mean, I remember 09. There was I don't know which one it was where you could control your teammates. I think it might be the one, Mike, you're talking about. I'm not sure. It was at the Nextel, whatever. That one was cool too, but no, not to go too far off that. But
the paintballs were always my favorite.
Yeah. But getting back to the the truck model, Sean, I know you've done a little bit of testing, just here in the last couple of days. I mean, what are some things that you've noticed about the update? I mean, that's a big change to make. Luckily for us, it happened kind of before our season really started, so that's cool that there's not guys getting shuffled around in the middle way of the season. But what are some things that you've kind of noticed as far as some differences to the old truck and the new truck?
It's definitely looser going in and looser coming out than it used to be. I did a Vegas thing, and it's definitely more aero dependent. So any damage is definitely going to affect you. And that dirty air, man, when you get in behind someone in the corner, you'll definitely drift up that track a little bit if you get any type of dirty air. If you're within like that 0.8 seconds behind them, I think is when you start getting in that. So it's definitely, like Kern said, it probably is Xfinity in the truck body now, more so than anything, which is good because it was a little bit too just full throttle almost everywhere.
Oh, it's definitely good. I love the Xfinity car, so it's definitely good.
Yeah, and I was watching a stream last night I mentioned. So, of course, Daytona, Talladega, different tracks, same kind of style, but pulled up a clip, shameless plug of the stream here, but pulled up a clip of me and Kern running the top two here, and we're doing 178 going into 3, and this is the old truck. This is our race from the duel. Now, I was watching, for any of you guys that may know Garrett Maines, he's a driver in the Coke Series. Look at this number right here. 199 miles an hour going into turn 3. So that's about a 10 to 12 mile an hour difference. Now, again, too, a little bit of a disclaimer. I know we race fixed. I'm not sure if these guys were on open sets or not, but nonetheless, 12 mile an hour difference, and I heard just from what I was hearing some of these drivers say about these new trucks. I mean, kind of me and Will talked about it a little bit sooner or earlier too, is, running at these higher speeds, your trucks are turning higher RPMs are a little bit, harder to cool down now. So that adds another layer at the super speedways of, just trying to find any air that you can get on that nose to kind of help, cool the trucks down. I think that's going to be really excited to see, side drafting and stuff like that, later on during the race where these guys are, that maybe get a little bit beaten up, catch yourselves in a caution or two, kind of what that does for their trucks. We all kind of know the limit on the damage that you could have on these super speedways without falling off out of the draft too much. But now, again, we're coming in fresh. If you get tucked or if you hit the apron too hard, I know that these trucks, the side skirts, again, from what I'm hearing, are pretty soft. There's people getting, I think it's like 5 to 12 seconds of damage if they're pulling down on the apron too hard. So that's another layer to these trucks that, I'm excited for. Luckily I have a clean slate with the trucks. Really the only racing I've done has just been what we've done here in the league and a couple officials here and there, which, again, you always take those with a grain of salt. I'm excited for it, man. These next-gen cars that we race on Monday and Tuesdays, they're definitely an animal, but it's cool to get into something new. I fell in love with the trucks as soon as I got in them. Again, there were some places that were, again, you just hit the gas and turn left. But now, having that extra layer of, being loose in and loose out, you really do it sounds like you're going to have to take care of your tires a lot more. And I think that's going to be a big thing. And, we'll see throughout the season, how some of these guys are able to manage that, again, with these stage races, what that's going to do for strategy. And, we've got a pretty, well, I don't know what the exact percentage is on the length of our races, but they're pretty lengthy. I mean, they're not, of course, full length, but
we'll have 75% length.
Gotcha.
And they're set up to have 2 stages within the first fuel stop. So you're always going to make the first 2 stages. Then you're gonna have, if everything goes good, a green flag stop to end the race between the second stage and the finish. You should have a green flag. Now, whether we have cautions or not is the case, but you normally have, if it's a 100-lap race, it'll be like 20-40. Then you're gonna have a 60-lap run there, so you'll have to green flag stop. So there will be some tire play in there. Whether you want to get up there for the next stage, maybe take 2, hold off, and get a couple stage points, or
get ran over.
Right.
I learned that the hard way at Charlotte. I did the Maconi fixed and was fast there and took 2. And let's just say I think I finished like 16th from first. So, but again, I just think, I like that iRacing, that it's been on the platform for as long as it has. I love that it's always changing and evolving. I think that's a really cool thing, to really, iRacing is not cheap. We all kind of know that. Of course, I guess maybe that's relative to some people, but it's definitely not cheap. And it's really cool to, coming from a guy that mainly played like Call of Duty and stuff like that, and they're just money, money, money. It's really cool to see a game like iRacing where, all the money does, not all the money, I guess, obviously there has to be profit involved in any business, but to see how much of it goes back into the sim and all these changes that are being made, constant reskins of tracks and this new update, with the Dune Damage model and the stock cars and the truck change, it's really cool to see. And again, I'm nothing but excited for it. I haven't had too much time in the Xfinity car either. So, I mean, I'm going to feel like I'm getting to drive a whole new car, and I'm excited for it. I think, this league is really something that I look forward to on Sunday nights. I think more so than even some of the other leagues we run, to be honest. I love the trucks. Again, I love the group of guys that we have in here. This has been, super fun thus far in the few races that we've had. So, I mean, I'm nothing but excited for what we have to come. And I think that pretty much kind of covers everything that we had planned for. So, I mean, again,
Hold on right there.
Oh, Mike's always got something in the chamber.
So since we were getting me all wild up, getting ready to go for Sunday, who you guys got taking the checkered flag this Sunday? So I will start off with it. So I'm pretty sure he's still in the chat right now, and a couple of us have raced with Mr. Ryan Quick a couple times outside of it.
Yeah.
So I'll go ahead and I'm gonna throw some shade at Ryan. So in our what was it, the recruitment race, I was looking pretty good for a dubs right there. I was pretty excited, and somebody turned me,
and your boy took the win, baby.
Yeah, Ryan did reach out, so we're all good though. But I actually ended up running into Ryan in one of the hosted races.
Yeah.
A few days later, and lo and behold, he and I are up front again. I'm 1, he's 2. I'm like, all right, he kind of owes me one. He's gonna push me to the limit. He's not my. God dang it! And there he goes, and he took it from me. So I'm watching out for you, Ryan. I got you this time.
Yeah, I was drafted with Ryan a lot during the duels and everything. He's a good, clean racer. I don't mind being behind him, and I don't mind him being behind me. So
no, for sure.
He's definitely lives up to his name. Quick.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
And he's got a nice looking truck too, man. That baby blue UNC truck is a good looking truck. To piggyback off that, as far as checkered flag, I mean, sorry, Sean, but I hope it's one of us 3. Of course, selfishly, I mean, I think, again, it just, it comes down to who can be there. I mean, that's obviously going to be the biggest thing. Again, Quick has been quick. I know Happy, you were up there as well. I mean, we all kind of seem to be lingering towards the front. So I'm really just, again, I'm excited to see, Kraft was up there, he made his way up there too. And of course was part of that finish. And we've got to give credit to Sean as well. I mean, he won the thing, so he's definitely not a sleeper either. A lot of these guys that are, in the top 5, top 10, their names looked familiar from Sunday. So I'm excited for it again. Selfishly, I hope it's one of us 3. I know that we got linked up together there and we were pretty quick. So hopefully, we can hold on to that and, and be there at the end where it matters.
Yeah, like you said, you got to be there at the end. Honestly, super speedways are they're we have a love-hate relationship going on, but I love racing them. Honestly, not to sound like a song or anything, but it's like 10% skill and like 50% luck. I mean that's a lot to it. Um, you got to miss the big ones. You got to miss the wrecks going on. You got to make sure you're take fuel strategy. I mean that's a big thing that I didn't think was going to come into play, but the green white checkers there at the end, I thought I had it for 2 cautions. I was right there in the lead each time. I had it. Last caution came out, had to come, and that's how I ended up getting in the back, and then I got caught up in one. So the big thing will be just to have a lot of luck on your side. So anybody that can sacrifice something to the racing gods before Sunday's race may want to get that done.
For sure.
I'll be happy with the top 10, and let's move on to some real racetracks. To me personally, if I can get out of there top 10, top 12, I'll be happy. Now, definitely, your incidents are going to start mattering now, guys. So there will be IPL that'll hit in Dover. So pretty much, if you're over a 12.5 incidents per 100 laps, then come Dover, everybody's going to be hit with them EOLs. So you definitely want to try to stay clean. And a lot of times you're going to end up with over a 20X in one of these things if you're just not staying out of it, and that's going to put you behind on that IPL.
Yeah, and obviously we're not doing that to pick on anybody or say you're not a good racer. The whole point is just trying to make sure it's fun for everybody.
Right.
Nobody wants to come into this and just have wrecks after wrecks, cautions after cautions, make a race that was only supposed to last for like an hour and a half, last for 3 hours because of all the cautions. Eventually, people are going to learn. People are going to start taking their time, learning how to race, especially around each other, and we'll have less and less cautions as the season goes on. Again, these EOLs that might happen later in the season, hopefully they don't, but if they do, take it as a learning experience, not a diss or any of us trying to pick on anybody. So.
Yeah, and I'd like to take that time as well to acknowledge the thankless job. So thank you to the admins because, it's you guys that put it on. So Bryce, yourself, Abby, thanks for putting this on. Thomas, I know Miss Tamara, I don't even think she races with us, but, she's there helping out behind the scenes, make it happen. So just for me, and I'm sure everybody else feels the same, thank you guys for doing that part of it so that way the rest of us can enjoy this and have a great time. So thank y'all.
We appreciate it, man.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the last thing I'll say is again, a lot of people too, just because you may not be the cause of it necessarily, there may still be some things that you can do to not put yourself in that position. So, again, once these IPLs do hit, if you do find yourself falling victim to it, again, don't take it as you're a bad driver or a bad racer. Maybe just kind of take a step back and realize, hey, what's getting myself in these positions? Because we've all had races where it just seems like we're in it. We're a magnet, and it's not anything that we're necessarily directly doing, but we're a part of it, and I know Mike knows about that.
I was like, speak for yourself. I've never wrecked anybody.
Yeah. We won't, I won't bring that up again here in front of all these people, but no, I mean, again, I think, it encourages good driving, I think too, you don't want to be, again, of course, the guy that causes the big one. You don't want to be the guy that has a 30 or a 40X at the end of the race. Super speedways, again, it being a simulator where fast repairs are a thing, of course, there are more chances for people to make moves. So ultimately, X count is probably going to be higher on super speedways, but, it's just a matter of being mindful of everyone. I would say even on the super speedways, practice, man. Learn what these trucks do in the draft, learn side draft, and learn what happens, when a big run comes, or that helps everybody. That encourages good racing. It makes sure that you're there at the finish. I love it, man. The adrenaline rush that I get when I'm going 180 miles an hour down a track and I look to my left and to my right and behind me, and I'm in the bee's nest. I love it, and I'm excited for it. Again, thanks, for everybody for joining this, man, and being a part of it. As much as of course it takes, admins and officials, it takes a body of people to be here. So, we appreciate all you guys for joining the league and sticking with us. As Sean alluded to earlier, if there's anything that you guys think of, feel free, hit us up, let us know, post it. We're open to suggestions. We're open to make this thing work long term, and we've got some things cooking up that we're excited to continue to talk about and announce as things go on. So appreciate all those. Again, Sean, I appreciate you for, inviting me here to this to begin with. Again, I've already had a blast, and I know Mike, you and I, we talk a lot, and same with Will. We're all just excited for this league and what we can do, short term and long term. So, thank you for that. And again, thanks everybody that tuned in here so far. Ran into some technical difficulties, but it shows that we've got about, 6 people in here right now, which is awesome. That's more than I thought we would get. And, again, we'll only get better as things go. So just thanks for, everyone for being a part of this, man. Again, I love it. And I can't wait to do it every single week. So I'm excited.
Likewise.
Yes.
Thank y'all.
Looking forward to Sunday. Yep.
All right. Well, with that being said, I think that concludes episode 1 of the Turnin Laps podcast, brought to you by us over here at CTS Motorsports. We appreciate all you guys for tuning in. Sean, will the race be broadcasted on Twitch this weekend as well, or?
Race will, yes, sir.
Okay.
Once those points race start mattering, we will try to upload them to YouTube so we can keep them longer than the 7 days.
Okay. What I will do for everybody that's still in here, I will post the races will be streamed on Twitch. I will post that link in the comments below. Not a shameless plug, but kind of a shameless plug. I know that I stream my point of view. I'm sure there's probably a couple other people that will be streaming their point of view from the races as well. So, definitely feel free to tune in and watch that as we continue to do these races. And anything,
watch them both, man. Watch them both. I watch them both. I go back and watch the broadcast, see. I seen where I made a mistake on one car, then I went back and watched your stream and learned how y'all were working as a team a little bit. So,
look at this guy, cheeky over here, huh?
Yeah, you got to quit streaming now.
Yeah, right. You turn my comms off.
Y'all sure had a good jump on that restart.
That's right. Yeah, we got to make sure we're working together on that. But no, again, Mike, Will, Sean, I appreciate you guys for doing this, and again, we look forward to making this better for us and for everyone, and continuing to talk about the league as it progresses and it moves on. Again, long league, long season. We got a lot of stuff to continue to talk about. Any iRacing news, of course, that pops up, or NASCAR news. We can cover some of that here as well. So again, thanks for everyone for tuning out or tuning in and being a part of this. We will be again doing this every week. We're probably going to try to do it around the same time, maybe a little bit earlier if possible. Again, we'll kind of continue to work with all of each other's schedules to see where we end up. But other than that, we appreciate you guys so much, and we will see you around the same time next week for some more laps. Peace. Heck yeah.